Alright, welcome to example 8, vertical motion.
Bye-bye.
Vertical motion. Here what we're going to do is we're going to find the position equation. S equals 1/2 a t squared plus v sub 0 t plus s sub 0 for an object at the given height moving vertically at the specified time. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to, we have 3 different times, which means we're going to set up 3 different equations, and we're actually going to have 3 different unknowns. Exciting, I know. Contain yourself. If we're going to use this formula up here, where s is equal to a 1/2 a t squared plus v sub 0 t plus s sub 0. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this equals s to the end. Notice the difference between s and an s sub 0. What we're going to do is everywhere there is a t, you're going to plug in a 1, and that's going to be equal to your 104. So we're going to have our first equation, which is going to end up and be a 1/2 a times 1 squared. And actually, I kind of want to move this up a little bit. So let's see if I can write it a little bit smaller. So we're going to have a 1/2 a times t squared, which t is a 1, plus a v sub 0 times a 1 plus, well, s sub 0, you don't have any t's, so it's just s sub 0 equals 104. So if we simplify that equation, that's just going to give us a 1/2 a plus a 1 v sub 0, or I'm just going to start calling that v, forgetting the zeros for the moment, just because I don't want to run out of ink when I'm writing this. So there is your first equation. Now you have to do the same thing with your third, or with your second and your third. So if we plug in a 1/2 a times a 2 squared plus v sub 0 times 2 plus s sub 0, that's equal to 76. So you get a 2 squared is 4 times a 1/2 is a 2a plus 2v plus s equals 76. So there's your second equation. Now your third equation, you just plug in a 3. So we're going to have a 3 squared plus v sub 0 times 3 plus s sub 0. Notice that none of the s's have any variables on the front, or any numbers attached to them, so they'll be nice and easy to simplify here in a little bit. So 3 squared is 9 over 2. A plus a 3v plus s is equal to 16. So here are your 3 equations. Now, we can make this a little bit easier also if we just try to get rid of all of your fractions. So let's write these out so they're all nice and pretty here together. And then you have a 2a plus 2v plus s equals 76. And then you have a 9/2 a plus 3v plus s equals 16. So what we're going to do is we're going to write equivalent fractions here. Sorry, not equivalent fractions. Equivalent equations. And when we do that, we just need to multiply by a nice pretty number. So we're going to multiply the top equation by 2, which will end up giving us the equation of, whoops, I guess I forgot my 2. The reason we're multiplying by 2 is to get rid of your fraction. So that's going to give us an a plus 2v plus 2s equals 208. Hopefully you're leaving a lot of space here. Then you're on the second equation, we don't have to do anything there. So that's still, those are all constant values. And then on the bottom one, we're going to multiply that by a 2 as well. That way we can get rid of our fractions here. And we're going to have a 9a plus 6b plus 2s equals 32. Here are your 3 equations you are going to want to solve. 3 equations, 3 unknowns. So I'm going to have to go to another page here. Alright, so here are your 5 equations. Here's your 3 equations. And what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of our s's first. So if I want to get rid of my s's first, I'm going to call this equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. And I'm going to combine 1 and 2. So if I combine 1 and 2, what that's going to do is I'm going to have to multiply or leave my first equation how it is. So, oops, let me get my board turned on here. So we're going to have the first equation is just an A plus 2V plus 2S equals 208. The second equation we're going to have to multiply by negative 2. So when we do that, that gives you negative 4A minus 4V minus 2S equals a negative 152. So notice here that your 2S's cancel. You get negative 3A minus 2V equals 56. So this is one equation that we are going to need to come back to, because we are trying to go from 3 equations with 3 unknowns down to 2 equations with 2 unknowns. So let's go ahead and let's combine, how about 1 and 3? Alright, so if we're combining 1 and 3, then what we're going to be able to do is we're going to just write our first equation, A, whoops, wrong color. We're going to write our A plus V plus 2S equals 208. And then we're going to need to actually multiply your bottom equation by a negative 1, because that's going to change all of your values. I'm going to go ahead and just write it first. So we're going to say 9A plus 6B plus 2S equals 32. And so we're just going to go through and subtract all of these. So negative, 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 which is going to end up cancel your S's. So you get negative 8A in blue, negative 8A minus 4V equals a 176. So here is your second equation. So now notice we have 2 equations with 2 unknowns. We can actually solve these now. So I know, lots of work here. I'm sorry to put you through all this pain and effort, because I know how some of you are with your effort. Lackadaisical. Sorry, I just had to get a little singing in. Alright, so let's go ahead and multiply the top by a negative 2, so we can cancel out our B's. So that gives us 6A plus 4B equals a negative 112. And then on the bottom you have negative 8A. Oops, minus 4V equals 176. So cancel. Negative 2A gives you a 64. A is equal to negative 32. So there is finally one of our answers. So now if we plug that back into either of these other 2 equations, your negative 32, you're going to find out that V will end up giving you a 20. So there's your V. And if you plug A and V back into any of these equations, let's go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to plug it in the middle one here. So 2 times a negative 32 plus 2 times 20 plus S is equal to 76. So you get negative 64 plus 40 plus S equals 76. So negative 24 plus S equals 76. Your S is equal to 100. So finally, what you're going to do after all that mess is you have to plug it in to your original equation of S equals 1/2 a t squared plus V sub 0 t plus S sub 0 to get your equation, which means S is equal to 1/2 times your A, which is a negative 32, t squared plus your V, which is a 20t plus 100 And that gives you your final answer, 1/2. You need to simplify this. Negative 16t squared plus 20t plus 100. So all that work for this little measly equation here at the end. But don't worry, all that work is going to make you smarter